First off, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is a brother Arabam from a James Jamaica camp, come with another quick lesson. And this lesson is just a quick, reminder that hey, when you're within this walk, when you're within this faith, and you have the fear of the Lord. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But receiving wisdom is not just solely reading the scriptures, understanding the scriptures, just comprehension. It's about applying as well, So when we gather the instructions, and then when we read and we get that understanding from a theoretical standpoint, wisdom, will actually try us. There's a spirit that's going to actually try us and put us in situations where we have to apply, or maneuver various scenarios or situations, with the knowledge that we have. And as we overcome one, it's either gonna, there's only one out of two things, or three things maybe. You get the challenge, you overcome it, and then it levels up, or it's a case where you get the challenge, you don't overcome it, and it keeps coming back until you actually overcome it, and then if it's a case that you don't overcome it but you falter, then it means that we're not heeding the lessons, and we're pretty much unlearned. So it's very important to remember and to understand that as we grow within the spirit, we're going to constantly go through scenarios, as wisdom is going to constantly try us, until we receive salvation, which is the ultimate prize and the ultimate glory. Alright, so this is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, and I'll start at verse 18. It says, "My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age." So how do we gather wisdom? By reading these scriptures, by studying the scriptures, seeing what our forefathers did, what are the advice that we can get from our forefathers, what are the things that our forefathers did that we can actually learn from, and following the instructions of these scriptures, right? Ultimately, fulfilling our duties by following and doing the Lord's wisdom, the Lord's judgments, commandments and statutes to the best of our ability, through faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? So verse 19, it says, "Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth." So it takes work. It's just like a farmer that have to dig up the land and and prepare the land and plant the seeds. There's work involved, right? It says, "And wait for her good fruits." And once we actually plant those seeds, then we have to wait on those on those fruits. But how the growing process, when a tree or a seed is growing, it also has to battle the elements. If it's planted properly, the rain will come, the sun will come, there's wind, there's all sort of things that that it faces. It may be a case where even at a certain point, depending on when it's planted, you may have even the snow that it has to deal with. Sometimes it has to deal with insects. There are a lot of elements out there that it actually go through as it actually grows. But once it fulfills and go into a full tree, then there are actually fruits, right? It says, "For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits soon." So it says, "She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her, and As we can see throughout the years, you have a lot of men who fall off. You have a lot of men that push some wayward doctrine, or they go completely left of the scriptures because they're unlearned, and what they try to do is they try to bend the scriptures to what they would want it to be, or bend the scriptures to their liking. So they want the scriptures, and the doctrine to conform to them instead of them conforming to wisdom. And that's a very unlearned way or unpleasant way to actually do things. So it shows that you lack understanding, because it's us who needs to conform to Yahweh Shemashai. It's us who needs to conform to these words, not the other way around. Verse 21 says, she will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him one ere it be long. Right? And that is it. After a while, a lot of men say, look, this truth is too hard. One of the things that will happen is, once you step foot in this truth, there's going to be a lot of L's that you need to take. So for example, a man will pretty much get a job, and they say, look, you need to, in order to work here, you need to shave your beard. If let's say that for the first interview goes, or the first job he applies to, it pays good money, he says no, then after him saying no, he sees his bills piling up. He's thinking about how much money he could actually be earning, but it's only a beard, so on and so forth. And guess what? The next job comes up, they tell him the same thing. Let's say that he goes through a month or of not getting any calls or anything, and his bills are piling up, and all these things are happening, and the next job that comes along, that says, hey, you need to shave your beard, it pays good money or even better money than the first one, he goes straight ahead and he shaves his beard. He pretty much loses that fortitude, and he loses trust. So and that's just one example. It could be a case where somebody wronged you, and but just the fact that they wronged you, you see something happen onto them, you don't help them. Or for example, you may see their wallet fall, you tell yourself, well, look, I'm not going to touch it, because I'm not going to say I'm not a thief, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell him that his wallet fell. I'll just leave it there, and whatever happens. If he comes back and find it, then fine. If not, then that's on him. Things like that. There are scenarios that we go through, and those scenarios and those trials will be us taking L's, but it's taking L's with the right mindset. It's taking L's, understanding that, look, this is the condition of the battle. In the spirit, in the flesh, we may be seem to lose, but we're winning in the spirit. And eventually, as we pass, I said, we grow. Once we pass one trial, there's gonna be another trial, or it may level up, or there's gonna be something else that's gonna tackle our weakness, because that's what it does. Wisdom and applying these scriptures, it actually shows our weakness. But for some men, the constant trial, the constant mental anguish that comes with, being grounded and being and growing in wisdom, especially the wisdom of the scriptures, knowing that there are a lot of else, they can't take it, so because they're unlearned, they actually turn away from her. Right? Verse 21 says, she will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. It says, for wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifested unto many. And I should think she's not manifested unto many. Your wisdom is a gift from Yahweh Shemashai. It says, give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chains. So at first, it pretty much you have to submit unto wisdom. You have to submit unto the bondage. You have to become a prisoner, you know, unto wisdom. And at first it's gonna feel like, a lot of weight. It's like working out. At first you get, you work out, your muscles get torn, but after a while, as you keep at it and you push through the pain, your muscles get used to that rigorous workout, and after a certain point, the weights don't even feel heavy anymore. The muscle recovery, isn't as long as before, to the point where you even start to love, the feeling of your muscles being torn and healed. Love the feeling of the burn of the workout. Love the feeling of actually doing a workout, and feeling that pain, knowing that, look, this is for the better. This is what I need. And becoming to loving the pain, which is actually helping to mold us, or mold you in the standpoint of actually working out. It's the same thing within these scriptures. At first, it's rough. It says what? And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. Bow thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. Exactly. So we have to bear the struggles. We have to bear the weight of applying these scriptures and taking the L, to the point where, for brothers who have been around for a while, even, let's say, even up to 6 months to a year, that there are certain things that used to feel, certain judgment or certain experiences that used to feel heavy and unbearable, when you come in the truth, and you take L's, like, for example, people would, when on the highways and edges, when you just first come on the highways and edges, you feel those glares and those stares, and after a while, you don't even, they do it, it comes, it doesn't even matter to you. You people talk shit, people start to treat you different, and as you go through and push through that, it's like, whether they're with you or not, it doesn't even matter, because you know that you're doing the right thing. There are certain things. So like, over time, there are certain things that used to be a big deal, or certain things that used to bother you don't bother you anymore, and you really look at it like, why was this even bothersome in the first place? And it shows that, look, all those fears, anxieties, insecurities and thoughts between particular situations and experiences, you realize that, after doing it for some time, or going through and enduring for some time, you realize that, hey, really and truly, this is nothing. This is actually nothing, and it's so that we take our time and we grow through those hurdles, right? So it says, bow down thy shoulder and hear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. It says, come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. And that is the thing, the true testament of what I say, one of the sayings is that a true testament of a man's character is how he operates when he loses everything, or when things aren't going in his favor. Us trying to live righteously to the best of our ability, in an unrighteous world, it comes with a lot of L's, it comes with a lot of sufferings, it comes with a lot of endurance, and it comes with a lot of challenges. But guess what? As we overcome and we endure, there are ways that things just eventually working out in the end. And there are things that we learn, and to avoid certain things, we form certain habits, and we start to operate and move in various ways, to balance things out, through the scriptures, having the scriptures as a guideline, and in the end, it just all works out. So for example, you're coming in the truth. Let's say that you live with family, and they find out what you're doing, and they, whether it's a case where they throw you out, or it's just a constant nagging, and they have a problem with the truth, and you decide, what, to ensure that I can serve Yahweh Shem Shai as as best as I can, and without any nagging or hindrance, let me go ahead and just get my own place. And then what comes with getting your own place, there's a whole new level of paying bills, and having certain responsibilities, and that starts to mold your character. And then after, to a point where you having your own place, and then you go back to visit family or whatever, and it's like that they forgot that they were against what you were doing in the first place. They forgot that they were pressuring you, so to speak. But guess what, that situation you know helped you to what, to separate, learning how to step away from certain situations, how to actually create have take responsibility of your own environment. And as things just keep happening and happening, you start to get various experiences that starts to mold our character. That's just how it works. you know where was I? um, right, it says, come to her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Right, it says, search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee, and when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. And that is it. As each situation comes up, you learn how to apply wisdom to each situation. That, okay, you know don't go around trying to preach to every and anybody. You learn how not to cast your pearls to swine. You learn how to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You know how to speak and when to speak, knowing what to speak, knowing what to do and when to do it and how to do it. How to be righteous in an unrighteous society. you know and minimize, but there's some things that you can't avoid. There's some things that you have to just bear. But for the most part, you'll actually build up enough discernment and understanding when it's time to bear certain things, and what things are acceptable to bear versus what things are not acceptable to bear. And I say that it's all towards what the molding of our spirit. It's all about building our character and being guided by wisdom. And it comes with making mistakes and having faults. Scripture says a righteous man falls 7 times. So you may look at a situation thinking that this is the right way to go about it, and you make an error in judgment, and guess what, despite you falling, you learn that, look, okay, maybe it would have been better to do this instead, or to do that instead, and you refined it forces us to refine our decision making as we apply the scriptures. We learn how to apply the scriptures, but it comes with making mistakes, it comes with falling, and it comes with it comes over time. At first it's going to feel heavy, but throughout time, with each lesson, we will keep on being built up. Right? It says, search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee, and when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go, for at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to thy joy. And there are a lot of times when you go through things, and you overcome certain hurdles over a certain time period, and you're not happy that you went through those experiences. You're happy that you now understand how to deal with various situations, and it's just a joy, just understanding and knowing how to maneuver through wisdom, knowing that it's through wisdom, because when you compare your actions to those that are outside of the ministries, are the ministry, are those who are without this wisdom or without knowledge, you can see clearly how you have how good it is, and how it's all benefiting you, how wisdom is actually benefiting us. It says, for the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned into thy joy. Yeah, because even those that are in the world, compared to those that are outside of the ministry, those who are outside of the ministry, we can clearly see how much benefits, or how much a better situation we're in compared to them. Right? It says, then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. And I've been in situations even recently where just applying wisdom to the situation actually, defended me. Applying wisdom to the situation actually, got me coming out on top. And at first it says that, it says put your hands, in her chains, and and put thy feet into her fetters. But guess what? The same chains and the same fetters becomes what? Your defense. It becomes, it becomes something to glory in. you know Even Paul says what he glory in his tribulation. But well, guess what? You realize that it's because of being, submitting ourselves unto wisdom, that has given us the strength. And it's, we learn that, it's not really something of a hindrance or something to hold us back, but something to actually make us free, to the point where we're proud of these ornaments. It's, as I say, it's like going to the gym and just, at first you look at the weights like, yo, these things are just, they cause me so much pain, until the point where it's like, yo, I need to lift these things. I need to, these things are actually for my benefit, and you become to love and appreciate them because of what, what they're actually doing for your body. It's the same thing for wisdom, and how it benefits our lives. But it takes work, and it takes application. So we have to gather the information through studying, and we have to apply them to the various scenarios and keep on enduring. Just like with weights, sometimes you can do 10 reps depending on a particular day, whether it's your muscles being sore, or whether, sometimes it's just the mindset of the work, the mindset you have when you go in the gym. You don't get to lift as much, or do as much reps, but you do anyway. So some days you lift more than others. Some days you make it through your full routine versus others. But guess what? The fact that you're actually doing and applying it, there's still, you still have gains. You still benefit, right? So it says, then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. For there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace. Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, and shalt put her about thee as a crown of joy. And this is especially true as it pertains to, us, Lord willing, we're of the elect. We obtain salvation, right? It says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. If thou shalt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. So we have to submit, because there's great benefits in actually being under this, the servitude, and being subjected unto wisdom. But it's gonna be rough. But over time, you'll see the gains, you'll see the strength, and you just can't wait to get the next challenge, or go through the next challenge as we grow within the ministry. So with that, really hope this was edifying. Once more, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Hashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, the hopeful elect. Shalom.